Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Sevens. This one, we already know that Scotland have booked themselves a spot in that fifth place playoff. Now we just wonder, will it be Samoa or will it be Canada who do end up joining them? Looking in the starting lineup for Samoa will be Valvasa Afasua, one of the co-captains, Va'a Pilomaliko, another co-captain, Yona Sione, Malani Matavao, Letufea, Owen Nui, and Steve on his side. Then looking through at Canada's starting lineup, it will be Jake Thiel, Philip Burner, the captain, Alex Russell, Josiah Mora, Brock Webster, Cooper Coates, and Lachlan Kratz. So that is the starting lineup for both of these sides. It will be Canada kicking off this one. It's going to be awesome to see these two sides play off. Samoa, they will be determined to try and right their wrongs from what happened in their quarterfinal match up against Australia. But Coates gets us underway now for the first half of Sevens. Flying high through the sky there. And already a little bit of a handling error from Samoa early on. And also, what are you using to see the score? Says that Denny. So this one that I have got, it is actually a custom scoreboard that I've made myself so that I am able to update it type thing. Whereas on some of the other ones, it does normally update itself. But this one, I do have to kind of do it all by hand. So hopefully the next two matches, we will have the regular scoreboard that you guys are used to seeing, but it is just like a create your own scoreboard app. And the Samoan flags from Ines Charles, blue versus red, says not your everyday cultist. And also, Hamish, do you think is still in second position after Australia? How much gold medals for New Zealand till now? They have actually had, I want to say about 5, but I could be wrong in that stat. Cooper Coates just inside of the 22. And Canada trying to get their first attack going. It's a penalty, though, against Malani Matavao. Cooper Coates now sells the dummy. In fact, it was Brock Webster, and Jake Thiel goes in for the first try of the match for Canada. Bit of adversity for the Samoans early on in this contest, but Thiel goes in. And that will be now 5-0 in favour of the Canadians. We have got Come on Canada, says Gareth. And we'll be covering the All Blacks versus Fiji semi-final. And what are the timings? Your prediction for that, says Coding. So that will be the very next game after this one, starting in about, I'd say, 15 minutes time, and we are going to be covering that one on the channel as well. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be hard to beat Fiji the way that they are playing currently, but New Zealand will certainly try. Canada, the kick has gone over. So now it does make the score 7-0 for Canada over Samoa. Try. And Theo has had a good comp, and then avoid mistakes, please, says Ines Charles. So exactly what they did not do for that first minute, Samoa, but now they've got another opportunity to try and turn it around. Cooper Coates will be kicking us off. He's got it very high. Samoa trying to line it up. It was Owen Nui who wasn't quite able to take it, and now it's back in the hands once again of Canada. It's actually a double knock-on, and the scrum feed will be going the way of the Canadians. The bookies have gotten almost everything wrong so far, says Cameron there. Yeah, I mean, the likes of Tonga versus Zambia was a huge upset with the Zambians winning in terms of the betting odds, but the end of the day, Zambia have been looking Uganda, I should say, rather than Zambia. I think Zambia played Sri Lanka, didn't they? Who actually managed to win that game? Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Was it, in the end, a win for Sri Lanka? I know that they were up by a little bit, and it seems like I have to be till I get home and redo the whole thing on my laptop, says Sebastian. So hopefully it doesn't take two. Oh, it's another try for Jake Thiel. Thiel's got 2. And just like that, Canada are up 12-0. Samoa, there's something that's happened in between those first 3 games and their next 2 because it's been going wrong for them. Tournament tries Jake Thiel. He's only got 3 for the tournament, 2 of them coming in this contest. But yeah, hopefully it isn't too much of a kind of mess around for you, Sebastian, of minutes and minutes of having to reset everything for it as well. But Cooper Coates does the round step on his side. Ball on the inside to Thiel, who was just waiting for it. Currently 12-0 in favour of Canada. And come on, Canada, I'm supporting the underdogs, says Coding. And also, just as I was about to say, or just about to get the platinum badge as well, says Sebastian. Don't worry, you will get that diamond one day. Go money, what's happening, boys? Says Ines Charles. Yeah, something's just gone wrong for Samoa compared to the way that they're playing in this game, compared to the group stage games. There's just a whole different mindset. But I would say once Samoa get a little bit more of the ball, that one has luckily bounced backwards for the Samoan. Steve on his side's kicked it out on the full, though, and he is absolutely fuming. Go Samoa, says Aquila there. This is also semi-final, so not quite. This one is a 5th place playoff game. So whoever wins this goes on to face off against Scotland in the 5th place playoff match that will be taking place in the early hours of the morning. Now, we're going through. Mora does nicely. Good attack around Hamish. Gifting has to be turned on by the watcher. Then you can gift, and it only lasts 1 month. Says Gareth in there. Says Gareth as well. Oh, okay. I didn't actually know that, because I think that members can, or people can gift other people memberships as well, but I don't think they get to choose who they gift a membership to. Or they may. I'm not too sure how it works. I know that it's similar to Twitch, though, isn't it? And also, when is the New Zealand game? It is the next one after this, so probably in about 15 minutes' time will be when we see the Kiwis take part. Now, Canada once again. Jake Thiel, ball on the outside. Brock Webster trying to go in. It's a nice offload, but Jake Thiel has knocked the ball on. Webster cleans up, and it would have been close to the try, but instead, it will be going back for the Samoan scrum. It has been all Canada for the first 5 minutes of this half, really. And as that second half, says Shane, no, we are still in the first half for this one. And Henry Paul, Canada coach, says Hanoi, and also Samoa played so well in the first half against New Zealand. And now look at them. Don't know what has happened. Says not your everyday cultist. And yeah, they've been putting it all together lately for Samoa in the sevens. But this game does look a little bit different. Something's not quite clicking for them at this current point in time. And Samoa actually score 55% of their points in the first half, so that will concern them a little bit, but it's a great run forward from the number 8, Latafia. Penalty going the way of Samoa now. If they score now, they are still well and truly in this contest. Malani Matavao passes it across now, kicked him behind. It's going to be a foot race. Pilo Maleko waits for the ball to sit up, and it does just that. Beautifully done. Selling the dummy on the outside. Pilo Maleko, he's in a foot race. Tries to go straight over the top of Alex Russell. It's going to be the advantage for a high shot. And Canada now, they will be under a huge amount of pressure. Letafia goes off to Steve on his side. He goes through and scores the try for Samoa. That is their first of the match and probably not the last. It looks like as soon as Samoa stop with the handling errors, they have been able to get themselves straight in as Commonwealth Games just for the colonies of Britain. Says Porter, I believe so, if I'm not wrong, but I could be for that one. It was really Maleko all the way. Says Enes and Go Manu, do something, boys. And it was competing in the second semi-final. So the first one, Fiji versus New Zealand, like we mentioned earlier on. Second one, South Africa versus Australia. So that will also be a very awesome game. So I've just actually realized all 4 of the sides in there are actually Southern Hemisphere teams. Steve on his side went through, and mate Susie the waitress fed the Samoans. Says Hanoi there, and also avoid mistakes, boys. That kick has gone over. And with 18 seconds left, a successful conversion goes the way of Samoa as well. And now they have got the kickoff of Malani Matavao, nicely taken by Mora inside of his 22. Would love to be able to score right at the end of this first half for the Canadians. The siren sounds. And yes, so pretty much all the best countries. And also, yep, only ex-colonies. And then also Western Samoa, says David the Mod. And there with the flags now, Canada running into their own players. Looks like it's a little bit unstructured there for Philip Burner. And kicked into touch. Canada won't mind having a 5-point lead, that is for sure. And Brock Webster gets it back into the touchline. And now the second half is just around the corner. Canada sitting on 12 and Samoa sitting on 7. And Britain and its ex-colonies, says not your everyday cultist and try, says Hanoi. And there as well. But currently we are only moments away. In fact, 1 half away from New Zealand versus Fiji. Absolutely massive game that is going to be taking place. And then alongside that, the next game after that, it is South Africa versus Australia. And also, by the way, congrats on 5 million views, Hamish. That's some figures, said Sebastian. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And I did actually see that pretty much on the same day, or maybe the next day after, we actually brought up 1,500 uploads on the channel, which I think surprised me as well. I was thinking the fact that I have either live streamed or uploaded a video 1,500 times, that's 1,500 thumbnails for one. That is a lot. But yeah, it is absolutely incredible the amount of support that we've had in these live streams and also in the videos in the past year and a bit. And we have no intentions of slowing down. We've got the World Cup Sevens coming up for the Cape Town Sevens. It will be then also alongside that, we are going to be doing the Rugby World Cup for the men next year, FIFA World Cup, all of those ones. And where are the games aired? Says Joshua, if you are in New Zealand, it is on Sky Sport. I believe about Sky Sport 4 for us in New Zealand. And Go Samoa, you will catch up on them. And never knew Malaysia was a British colony, says not everyday cultist. And do Black Ferns is in the semi-final or not? No, sadly, they did get knocked out. And that was actually in their game up against Australia. It was a close one. And it was 17 points to 12 in the end. in favour of the Aussies. So it always is a great rivalry. 56 countries in the Commonwealth. Also, a lot of countries have chosen not to belong to the Commonwealth, says Gareth there as well. But the Canadian coach firing up the boys here. We'll have to wait and see exactly how Canada go in the second half, because they've currently got themselves a nice 5-point lead. But the thing is, sometimes a lead at halftime can be your downfall. I've seen it many times in the game of sevens. It's just so quick. And go Mane Samoa, you will win, says Shane. And there as well. And also we'll be calling other sports after the sevens is done, or just the sevens, says Hanoi. So we still have the rugby union, such as Rugby Championship, Gallagher Premiership, the top 14, all of those competitions we will be covering on the channel. Alongside that, we have got the cricket coming up on the channel as well. And quite a few other sports sneaking in there. FIFA World Cup, the football, rugby league over on the Kiwi Lads Sport channel. They didn't like being coloured pink on the maps of the world, says Steve there. That is going to be the penalty straight away to Canada, 22 metres out. And it's a yellow card for throwing the ball away. It may have only been a couple metres, but it was still a yellow card for Vauvasa'a. And also, do you remember the LA Sevens 2019 final? I think that was actually just before started following the sevens. I believe my first competition that I watched was the Tokyo Olympics. And then from there, we have covered every single leg of the sevens that we've been able to. Looking forward to the women's final in addition to the next game after this, says Sammy Souza. And go let the fair, you got this, says Shane. And are you watching these games in New Zealand? So it is on Sky Sport. So we have got a paid subscription option. Almost stolen by Samoa, but with a man disadvantage. It's going to be tricky for them now. Nice little overlap. Cooper Coates, ball on the outside to Mora once again. Big fend. Samoa able to drag him down, trying to get straight on the ball was Yuna Sione. Jumping extremely quickly. It's almost a seatbelt tackle on Cooper Coates. Ball rolls back out the back. Mora does give it off to the right-hand side. Canada at the moment looking to attack one more time. While they have got the man advantage. Jake Thiel, bit loose there from him. Going back, it is a lot of meters lost there. Alex Russell drops the ball as well. 40 meters out. Good work in the breakdown from Samoa, but still just on the side of the Canadians. Mora now sees a gap up the middle of the field. Cooper Coates runs sideways. And that's a big knock on, and it sits up beautifully straight into the hands of Canada. It's going back for the scrum, though, and very soft yellow card, bad ref decision, says Steve there. And also, we have got a little bit earlier on, thanks. And also, Uganda won against Tonga, says Strike. They certainly did, and they didn't just win by a little bit. They won by a lot in that contest, which was great to see for the Ugandans. Now, it is going to be 5 minutes 14 left. The Oz TV is showing Oz Woman Black Ferns now. One day late, says Hanoi. Anyone in Australia who watches that game will certainly be impressed with the way that the Aussie women's side go in that contest. And now they've got themselves a date with the Fijiana women's side in the final. And New Zealand, they will be playing Canada, I believe, in their playoff game. Malani Matavao, still a man advantage for the Canadians. But Samoa, all they need is one good step and they'll be through. And just like that, on cue, it will be Yona Sione who does make his way through to the try line. And that is going to now make the score 12-all between these two sides. Yona Sione will be very happy with that. Yellow cards like that doesn't belong in sevens with so little players on the field. It makes such a huge difference. There's not your everyday cultures. Great footwork from Pilo Maliko to be able to start a step round the opposition and also fill your water bottles with Vailima Usos give energy. And here you have it, says not your everyday cultist. And the New Zealand women were unlucky, gutted. They lost to the Aussie, says Steve. Yeah, it was extremely close, that is for sure. They wonder what happened. Oh, what's happening, Maliko? No, he did a good step there. Was able to get around and then passed it on the outside to Yona Sione. Kick from the touchline for Malani Matavao is unsuccessful. So now it is going to be 12-all between these two sides. Go Samoa, try to beat them before it's too late. Says Shane, and also pass the ball, Waterboy, says Nathan. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Are you excited for Australia versus South Africa? Do let me know. That's going to be another little mistake from Canada. It must just be looking, is it looking into the sun? Just a little bit, I guess. I don't think that would be the difference. And come on, Samoa, Viliami power, or Vailima power, and 7 minutes per half. And there's Art settling is. Do you consider a big upset when Aussie beat the Black Ferns? I know that it was a bit of an upset, but it wasn't a huge one type thing, because Australia, they did win the World Sevens circuit for the women's side of things, so they were supposed to go far in this competition. If they had played Fiji in the semi-final, maybe we could have seen them both making their way through to the final for the Trans-Tasman. And yes, excited, my guy, although that looks like a sad face for yourself, Nathan. And what time is the New Zealand semi? In about 4 minutes will be when New Zealand have their game coming up against Fiji. So not too far away at all, Nov Mum. What is your score prediction for that one as well? Do let me know. Nice attack and run for the Canadians, sitting 12-all between these two sides. It's been stripped beautifully. And you have to win Samoa, says Shane. And also, anyone have the link, please? Unfortunately, a lot of these games are based on subscriptions type things. So depending on what country you're in, you may have to check Birmingham to see where you can go to be able to watch it type thing. Now, Nui goes back across to Malani Matavao. Halfway at the moment is where Samoa find themselves. Steve on his side, the try scoring machine. He's accelerating Alex Russell. He needs to dive for him. He doesn't know. And Steve on his side goes in to get the try. And also, come on, Manu. And can we see the vid live, says Felipe. Sadly, due to licensing, any match footage or audio gets us taken straight down off YouTube, which I do apologize for because, yeah, it is very harsh. But as soon as we show any match footage, they take us off YouTube and we do have to wait 3 months before we are able to show it again. You not cover this match fully and straight switch to semi-final, says Coding, although they won't actually start the semi-final until we do get through this match type thing. It is all being played from the same ground. Go Canada, says Vinny. And there, and go Samoa, says Viniana. It's kicked over from Malani Matavao, which now makes the score 19 points to 12 in favour of Samoa. Steve Unisai, looks like his day might be over now. And Samoa, I should already mention that they are back to the 7 men. And also we have got their Samoa doing well to come this far. And Matt said, I can't watch or can I? Depends if you have got a VPN. VPN is your best option to be able to watch it anywhere in the world. And like Gareth mentioned, you can go on the BBC and you will be able to watch it with a VPN. And Samoa doing well to come this far. They certainly have, although they will be disappointed to not have made their way through any further in this competition, as they would have loved to be in that semi-final matchup up against South Africa, but now just out from the 22 now. Nice attack and run here for the Canadians. Coates finds the offload. Now, if there's a try for Canada here, we will probably go to extra time. And this one, you have no idea how tough the Fijiana Sevens are, despite looking like tomboys, says Semi Souza. And there as well, looks like there's a player down for Samoa. Now, nice work, Moura, driven backwards. And the contact, Samoa trying to bring that physicality in the breakdown with only 54 seconds left. Cooper Coates. In fact, it's going to be the youngster Brock Webster finds the offload, or in fact, it was the cross kick to Coates. And then very nicely done. Coates just keeps it on the side of the Canadians. I like the idea of drop kicks for conversions. Says not your everyday cultist. I was playing for national team more than 100 games. Says Matt in there as well. That is going to be another penalty in favour of Canada. Now 30 seconds left. It's going to be another good attack and run. Allen, nice offload. They want to score between the sticks to make this kick as easy as possible. Hello, Vinny. In there as well. Says Viniana. Now it's going close to the touchline. Cooper Coates hanging on to that one very nicely. It's another penalty. Now, nice step once again, Hanoi. Oh, sorry, not Hanoi. It was wide. It's close. They're over. Right, Canada with a kick to come to try and make this one back to level. And we'll use streams or doing it in the same stream. So we will be switching over to that next one. Please, Manu, hold on to that ball, says Salafina. And then go Fiji just for Rabua. But now we find ourselves in an interesting situation. Canada are sitting on 17 points with a kick to come. If they get this conversion, it means that we go into golden point time. If they don't get this one right, and it's a massive kick, it's out to the side, and that will be the end of the game. 19 points to 17. And unless now we will be switching over to our next live stream. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next